Hi everyone, welcome back to Nick's Diecast. In today's video, I will be showing you all of the pullback cars from the Kinsmart and the RMZ City brands that I've gotten over the past year and a half or so. In 2023, I did two different pullback car videos, where in one, I showcased all of the Kinsmart pullback cars that I had, at least at that time. And then I did a second one where I showcased basically the rest of the pullback cars that I have, which were mainly of the Maisto and the Welly brands. I thought I would kind of stick to that same formula for 2024. It has been quite some time since I've done any pullback car collection videos, and I should have gotten, I guess, to making one either in the spring or summer. Now that we're approaching the end of the year, I figured I would get both the Kinsmart video out and the Welly and the Maisto and this other pullback car video out at some point before the end of this calendar year as well. I did decide to include the RMZ City brand with the Kinsmart video because I didn't get a whole lot of Kinsmart models this year, as you can see. The RMZ City models are from the Scion and onward, and the Kinsmart models are the rest of the cars that you see here. The main reason for that is because a lot of the pullback cars that I have gotten happen to be by Welly, because as you knew, at least last year, several different Rite Aids were closing, and because of that, I was able to get a lot of Welly models from different Rite Aid locations for pretty cheap. Both the pullback Welly models as well as the 124th to 127th scale models. But I figured I would still do kind of two separate videos where I did Kinsmart plus RMZ City, and then just do the rest of the pullback cars in a future video. And because the RMZ City models are kind of similar to Kinsmart models in terms of just the overall details and everything, I thought it would just kind of be nice to include them in the same video as the Kinsmart models. The RMZ City models all came from the same Food Lion location in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. And all of the Kinsmart models that you see here did come from CVS. Actually, 3 different CVS locations now that I'm looking at all of these here in one place at one time. But that's where I've gotten pretty much all of the Kinsmart models that I have from various CVS locations throughout the years. So this is what I have here in terms of all of the Kinsmart and the RMZ City pullback cars that I've gotten between kind of the mid to late portion of 2023 and now, as we're approaching the end of 2024. So I'll just kind of quickly go through and tell you a little bit about each of the models that you see here. So we'll start back here with these race/rally cars. These two I did happen to get on the same day from the same CVS. We have the Mitsubishi Lancer in this nice red rally art, like rally livery, and the Subaru Impreza WRC 2007 with this really cool rally livery that I believe is based off an actual rally car as well. Not too sure about the license plate, but this livery is based off an actual livery used on an actual Subaru Impreza WRC. So I thought that was really cool that Kinsmart modeled this after that. And I think for the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 7 that you see here, this is at least loosely based off a livery. But I thought these looked super cool, so of course I did get them. Then next we have the 2012 Lotus Exige S in this really cool black and yellow striped racing livery. You have the number 3 on the sides and on the hood as well. And the engine detail I thought was really cool too for a pullback toy, absolutely. Then the Porsche models are up next. I actually happen to get these on the same day as well. These I got from the same CVS as these two, and this one came from a different CVS location. But we have the Porsche 911 GT2 RS. This is the 991 Gen version in this really cool blue. You have the carbon texture on the hood as well as the black spoiler. Very cool model. And of course, all of these models, in addition to having the pullback functions, do have the opening doors as well. And a couple of them do have some additional features, like this Mercedes-Benz pickup does have the opening tailgate in the back. So just wanted to point that out as well before I continued. Up next, we have the Porsche Carrera GT in this really awesome yellow with the saddle-colored interior, which I think pairs up quite well with this particular paint scheme. Very cool. Then up next we have the Bentley Continental GT Speed in this really nice metallic blue paint finish. This I thought was very well detailed, especially with those nice looking wheels too. Then we have a couple of Lamborghini models. We have the Lamborghini Sion in this really awesome matte metallic green that of course was available on the real car. And I also have a 1/18 scale version and a Hot Wheels version of this same car as well. I always really liked the look of the Sion, especially in the metallic green that you see here, paired up with those gold wheels. Very cool. And of course, this does have the opening rising doors, just like the real car would have. Very cool. Speaking of rising doors, up next we have this really awesome matte blue Lamborghini Murcielago, which does have rising doors on it as well. Kinsmart has released this Murcielago model in several different colors over the years, but I saw this matte blue version at CVS, and I thought, wow, that looks really cool. Doors are kind of hard to get up, but once they're up, they look really cool. Then next we have this really awesome yellow with black stripes 2006 Ford GT model, which I actually got from the same CVS location as these two Lamborghinis and as the Lotus. So I thought this looked really cool in that nice classic looking yellow with the black racing stripes. Then next we have the 1967 Shelby GT 500 in this nice classic metallic gray with the black racing stripes going down the middle. I thought this one looked really cool, so of course I did get it. And it does really look nice when put on the shelf next to its modern counterpart here, which is the 2007 Ford Shelby GT 500 in this really nice white with the dark blue stripes. This one I thought looked super cool. This came in some additional colors as well. I think I might have seen a red one at some point, but I just always liked this particular generation of the Shelby Mustang in this particular paint scheme. Same goes for this this first gen version here. And these just look really good when put side by side, as you can see right here. And speaking of stripes, we have the 67 Chevy Camaro Z28 in this really classic looking yellow with black racing stripes. And Kinsmart also made a 2014 Camaro in the same paint scheme, so I may end up trying to find that just to put on the shelf with this classic version here. But I thought this one looked super cool, so I decided to get that one too. Now, this Mercedes-Benz Hex class I actually already had when I filmed the previous Kinsmart video, but I somehow forgot to put it in the video. And I believe that was because I had this stored with some of my 1/43rd scale models. And this is close to 1/43rd scale. It is, yeah, 1/42nd scale. So I had that in a separate box, and I somehow forgot to show it. So this one I've had since probably 2022 or even before that. I'm not totally sure. But the X-Class, I think, is a good-looking truck, as odd as it is that Mercedes even made a pickup truck. But Kinsmart does make a nice model of this truck, so I was happy to find that one for sure. Then we'll take a look at what I have here in the front row. These next two are unusual because they're actually 1/28th scale. Kinsmart has released a few 1/28th scale models in their Pullback line. And I think aside from these two, they also made a Mini Cooper Cabriolet, and they made a more recent version of the Fiat 500. I believe it was the Fiat 500e from like 2022 or something like that. They're the only, I think, 4 models, at least that I can think of, that Kinsmart made in the unusual 1/28th scale. We have the Fiat 500 in this really nice light metallic silver. And then we have the Mini Cooper in this really nice kind of deep shade of blue with the white roof and the light gray interior. This is, I think, based off like a 2003, 2004 model, and this is based off like a 2007 or 8 model of the real cars, respectively. But yeah, in spite of their unusual scales, I think both of these models are quite good in terms of overall details and quality. Next, we have a Porsche Cayenne in this nice metallic blue. Kind of a different shade of blue from the Mini. This one's a little bit lighter and has a little bit more of a metallic sparkle to it. Then we have the BMW Hex 6 in this nice pearl white. I thought these two look good kind of side by side, just as a European crossovers for sure. Then last but not least, for the Kinsmart group here, we have the Toyota Hef J Cruiser in this really iconic yellow with the white roof paint scheme. I was happy to find this particular model. The FJ Cruiser doesn't seem to come up too much in the mixes that I've seen at CVS's of Kinsmart pullback models. And the ones I've usually seen have either been black or blue. And I really did want to find the yellow version, and then I was able to find it at a CVS that I didn't usually go to. Same thing with this Ford Bronco that we see here. I actually got this from the same CVS as this one and on the same trip too. So I was definitely happy that I found that because I was looking for this Bronco model for quite some time. This is actually a fairly recent release from Kinsmart, and it comes in both the open top version that you see here and a closed top version as well, and in several colors for each of those versions. So I was definitely happy to find this awesome looking blue version with no roof. So yeah, that's what I got in terms of all the Kinsmart models in the past year and a half or so. Now we'll move on to the RMZ City models that I got from a Food Lion in the Outer Banks of North Carolina on 2 separate vacation trips that I took there with my family. I had actually not heard of the RMZ City brand before I came across the kiosk of them at that Food Lion, and I thought this is a pretty interesting looking brand of models. And certainly all of these models, I think, are unique in that a lot of these are not made by pullback car manufacturers besides RMZ City. So I was definitely happy to find all of these here. And I think they're pretty well detailed as well. They're definitely, I think, a mix of like Kinsmart and Welly in terms of their quality and I guess their play value, if we can say that. And just the different models that they offer in their line as well. Kind of a nice blend of just everyday cars, supercars, and classic cars, I think, which, of course, both Kinsmart, Welly, and Maisto, even with their pullback cars, do offer in their respective lines. So, but here are the 7 RMZ City cars that I've gotten on those 2 trips there to that Food Line, and I hope to find more, too, when I go there in the future. But up first, we have this Scion FRS Coupe. Now, the FRS was basically the Toyota 86/Subaru BRZ Coupe, and it was only sold, I think, here in the United States. But then Scion was actually reabsorbed by the Toyota brand because Scion used to be a sub-brand of Toyota. And then the FRS was, I think, just called the Toyota 86 from like 2016 and onwards. So this would actually be based off a 2013 through 16 model. And then, of course, the BRZ and the 86 were redone in recent years. But at least from 2013 through 2016, you had the Subaru BRZ and the Scion FRS coupes. So I thought it was interesting that RMZ City replicated the Scion version, which would have, I guess, technically been, which I guess technically is a little bit lesser known from the BRZ and the 86, just because both of those are still being made today, and the FRS was only available in certain parts of the world. So pretty cool. I think this is about 1/32nd scale too, so kind of on the big side when you compare with these models next to it, but still a cool model, I think, nonetheless. Next, we have this Porsche Taycan in this unique looking kind of pink, like a metallic pink hue, and it's almost like a salmon. I can't really place the name of this color, but I believe the real life Taycan does come in this particular paint scheme. So I thought that was cool that RMZ City replicated this unusual paint color for their model here. And it does pair up nicely, I think, with these black wheels, too. Up next, we have the Audi R8 Coupe, the V10 Coupe, more specifically, based off the most recent version of the R8, around like a 2017 or 18 model, I believe. And it looks really awesome, I think, in this nice, sparkly, metallic yellow, for sure. Then we have the Volkswagen Beetle, the most recent version, in this really, I think, beautiful looking bright blue. And it pairs up well with those chrome wheels, I think, as well. Kind of on the bigger side compared to the rest of the RMZ City models that I have here. Similar to the FRS, I think it's about 1/32nd scale or so. Then we have the Porsche Macan S in this unique looking metallic green. That one stood out to me right away on the kiosk, so I decided to get it, because I don't actually have any other models of the Macan in my collection. So I figured that one would be good to add. Then we have the BMW M2 Coupe in this beautiful metallic dark blue. Very nicely detailed as well. And then last but not least, we have the Maserati MC20, which has these unique rising doors and looks very cool in this metallic yellow. It's actually the same metallic yellow that you see for the R8. So yeah, these are all of the RMZ City and the Kinsmart pullback cars that I've gotten in the past year and a half or so. And yeah, I just wanted to do a quick video where I showcased all of these different models that I've gotten. I'm definitely glad that I found all of these models, and I hope to add more in the future. And once again, I will do a separate video where I show the rest of the pullback car models that I've gotten in the past year and a half or so. I figured it'd be a bit too much to try to combine or like jam every brand into one video. So I'll be saving the Welly and the other brands for a future video. Feel free to comment down below with what your favorite car from the video is, or if you happen to like these two brands of die-cast cars. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.